Alright guys, so I'm going to talk about Marvel's next big event, and that is Blood Hunt. Blood Hunt is basically an event that is going to be centered around vampires taking on the Marvel Universe. This sounds very familiar, doesn't it? Yeah, because we just did this in the DC Universe. DC versus vampires. We just fucking did this. It's literally like Marvel just went and looked at DC and went, we can do that. But instead of an alternate universe, it's going to be a main universe event. Now, to its credit, this has actually been something that I've kind of expected to happen. This was an event that I kind of saw coming at one point or another. This is one of those events where I was like, I see where we're going with this. Basically, if you don't know what's been going on in the Marvel Universe, Dracula and vampires have taken over Chernobyl and made it the first nation of vampires. I don't know if they brought up the Russian invasion or not. I don't know if they even touched on that what's going on with that. But yeah, they took it over. The vampires took it over back in the events of King in Black. So they now control Chernobyl. And Blade is the sheriff of Chernobyl, the new nation of vampires, with Dracula governing it. But now it looks like vampires are like, nah, we don't want just one nation, we want all of them. So it's basically Marvel versus vampires in the main, but it's not an alternate universe story, it's a main story. Now, a couple things I will say, give me a little hope. One, the writer of this event will be Jed MacKay, who has a thing for vampires to begin with. It's kind of weird. I've noticed that, especially in his Moon Knight run. He's had, this thing for vampires, so I'm like, this feels like he's saying something, but whatever. That's a joke. Yeah, guy likes vampires. I'm more of a werewolf guy, but I can't fault him for that. But Jed MacKay has been one of those writers who have just killed it, and one of my favorite writers over at Marvel. I absolutely love his Moon Knight run. Doctor Strange, his Death of Doctor Strange is a very good comic. I also love the stuff he did with Clea in the short time she was Doctor Strange. She took over as Master of the Mystic Arts, I should say. I also enjoyed, I really heard good things about his Avengers run, and I can't wait to read that in trade. So Jed MacKay doing a full-ass, vampire event is really cool. I really like the idea of a full-on vampire event. And hopefully it won't be as oppressively depressing as DC versus Vampires was. Yeah, in DC versus Vampires, it was we're an alternate universe, so we could just do... Now, the reason why I didn't like DC versus Vampires, and I'm not trying to sound like a Marvel shill here, but the reason why I didn't like DC versus Vampires because it was so, like I said, oppressively depressing. It was like they wanted to catch lightning again after how good DCeased was, and went, let's do it again, but this time around we'll make it more and more depressing. And I didn't like that. I want my horror to have, some meaning. It's why I don't like there's a lot of art house movies that just do, oh, fuck you, you wanted a good ending? Nah, you're gonna sit there and be depressed, you sack of shit. I hope you fucking hang your... He's like... it's almost like the movie's like, I hope you get so depressed you fucking hang yourself. It really feels like... that's the thing I don't like about these movies, is they really feel just oppressively mean-spirited at times. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't like DC. The concept I liked. I really liked the idea. Even if it was alternate universe, I was like, okay... but the thing was, we just did DC versus the Undead in DCeased, and we did it really fucking good. And then I read it, and I was like, yeah, this is really mean-spirited. This is really mean-spirited. And I like James Tynion, I know that wasn't the case, and I know he's really good at horror comics, but I was just like, God, dude, take it down 10 pegs. You're at a 30. I need you at a 8 tops. Anyway, so that was my thing. Now, the fact that we're doing this in a main Marvel universe means it's not probably going to be as mean-spirited and also depressing, because we have continuity to keep track of and all that. So, yeah. Now, will characters be turned into vampires? Probably. I would not be shocked if we get a Hulk pyre or a Thor pyre. Don't tell me they wouldn't do it. They would. So I would be I wouldn't be shocked if we get. It already looks like they're gonna have Iron Man to be in the promo image. It looks like they're gonna have Tony turn into a vampire, which wouldn't shock me in the least because he seems to turn into every. Tony is always the one in these events that always gets like either turned into something or revealed to be a Skrull or something. They always have whatever the event is. Tony gets affected by it the most, in either physically or emotionally. Has anyone noticed that? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Now let's talk about the big thing. Well, Multi, since it's an event, who do you think is gonna die? I think it's kind of obvious, isn't it? Like, I think we can all agree of like if this is like gonna be a big sale event, in a vampire event, who do you think is going to die? Yeah, my money's on. It's obviously Blade. Because always with these events, you always have like a big death of character. And it wouldn't, to the shock of no one, it's probably going to be Blade. I would actually be shocked if it's anyone else who dies in this event. Now, the reasons why I say Blade, because it really feels like it's been building to that for years. It feels like they've been building to that. And plus, we have his daughter to take up the mantle and take on the full name Blade. Yeah. We got it. He has a kid now. He can die. Like, that's the rule. You have a kid, you die now in Marvel, or the kid dies. Because we can't really have a functioning family unless it's a found family like X-Men or the Fantastic Four, which is an actual family, the first family, the only family. Fuck you and your feelings, Spider-Man fans. Apparently, that's Marvel saying it, not me. But yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. Is that Blade's going to die, and he's probably going to take Dracula with him. That's the other one I think is going to die. Dracula's going to die too, and I don't know, some other vampire like Baron Blood is going to knowing Jed McKay and his love for like lesser known villains and giving them new life. Funny pun not intended for this event. I would say like I would not be shocked if Blade and Dracula die and like Baron Blood takes over as the new king of vampires. Would anyone be shocked? Like, for those who don't know who Baron Blood is a vampire, a Nazi vampire who was a Captain America villain. I think he's still around. They just don't use him, and I wouldn't be shocked, especially with an event like this, they wouldn't have Baron Blood in some capacity, right? Anyway. So, am I looking forward to this event? I'm lukewarm on it, but Jed McKay on it gives me hope. Jed McKay doing this event gives me a lot of hope. He's written a lot of good stuff. It's just that, events, they're events. What can you do? Yeah. So, hopefully this will be good. That's all I'm hoping for. But you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of Blood Hunt? Are you guys excited? Are you guys not? Do you think Blade will be the one to die? Or do you think it'll be someone else? Do you think Dracula will die too? And who do you think is going to get turned into a vampire in this story? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.